Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so let me start first by introducing myself. My name is Andre Angelantoni, and I've been working with Drupal since 2007. So what was that, 4.7, I think? And I've been working with lots of great companies, both large and small, in Drupal, either as a lead developer or a technical architect, that sort of thing. And recently, like within the last 2 years, I got turned on to Cypress, maybe 3 years now. And boy, it was just a revelation compared to some of the other tools that we had been using for testing. So this is a update on my personal journey of learning about these new tools. Now, let's dive in. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. I'd like to actually move this thing out of the way. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start with why this presentation. Where are we in the testing landscape? In other words, where do Cypress and Playwright fit? A brief history of Cypress and Playwright, we'll go through that. Some important differences that people should know about, my recommendations, and some more resources, and then ultimately we'll end off with some Q&A. Okay, so why this presentation? Well, it has gotten much easier to perform end-to-end tests, and that's because there's a whole new generation of tools. And when I mean a whole new generation, I really mean a whole new generation. There are dozens and dozens of new automated testing tools out there. Some of them are all online. However, for most people, the two recent additions, which are Cypress, released in 2017, and Playwright, released in 2020, they are the best balance of flexibility, power, and ease of use, particularly with teams that eventually are going to be incorporating it into their continuous integration processes and their build pipelines. So yes, there are some online tools, and some of them have really fancy UIs, but it seems to me that right now in the marketplace, it's Cypress and Playwright that have the lead position for a bit of everything, and they do everything pretty darn well. Okay, so what this presentation is and isn't. So first of all, I think it's objective, but you're still going to detect a favorite by the end of this. I started Automated Testing Kit, which is a relatively new module that's available on Drupal.org, writing just Cypress tests. And by the way, Automated Testing Kit, if you all don't know about it, it is a way to kickstart your testing program because it already has 18 standard tests that will act like a smoke test so that you don't have to write those. And we're adding more all the time. So I started writing Automated Testing Kit just in Cypress, and then I added Playwright, so it actually has two sets of tests. I added Playwright because I kept hearing people say good things about it. And we'll go through a little bit more about that too. It's not an in-depth technical overview. That's actually really well handled in that Cypress and Playwright a comparison video, which I'm going to give you the link to at the very end. So for a in-depth technical comparison, it's already handled really well. I'm gonna give you the perspective of someone who's had to write the same tests in both frameworks and what I've learned over the last, let's say, 18 months. Okay, so where are we in the testing landscape? I found this great graph on the stratoflow.com website, so shout out to them. So let's start by looking at level one. The way they divided it, I thought made sense. You've got manual testing, which is obviously just humans doing exploratory testing or even repeated testing when they know what they're looking for. Then you've got automated testing, and then you've got the continuous testing. Okay, so that's level one. Then level two, you can split it up into both functional and then non-functional. And then level three, you've got unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, and then on the non-functional side, performance, security, usability, and compatibility. So which areas do Playwright and Cypress play in? These two here, integration testing and system testing. You're not going to use these tools for unit testing. For unit testing, you're going to use all the typical unit test tools that you would normally use. These are not the best tools for unit testing. So speaking of unit testing, the Drupal way of testing should look like this, where you've got end-to-end at the top, and then you have API and integration and component and unit. And that's a very typical test pyramid, which I got from Sean and Mark. But what it typically looks like in a Drupal team is more like this. E to E handles everything above unit. That's not wrong, okay? You can actually get a lot of value out of doing that. And with the advent of Drupal 8 and the move to Symfony and the much more library sort of oriented system that Drupal has moved into with Composer, much more like other frameworks, we will eventually get closer to this. We're definitely moving in that direction. So you can once again have end-to-end tests that are distinct from the API tests, that are distinct from the integration tests, and so on. And generally, I'm not going to get into testing theory. I'm going to give you a link to my presentation from last year that goes into much more of this if you want to educate your team or learn more yourself. But basically what teams want to do, in my opinion, is we want to shift our testing left. So instead of adding the testing all the way, let's say at the test, you can see there's a test 1, 2, 3, 4 in, it says test right before production. A lot of teams will start adding tests right before production. You want to start writing those tests sooner, even at the point where you're making requirements for your project. And so the overall concept is called shifting left or shift left testing. What are the benefits you get out of that? You get reduced costs, faster feature rollouts, higher quality, better user experience. Okay, and so this is part of the series. Last year's talk, also at WebCamp, was setting up a comprehensive automated testing regime for Drupal using Cypress and Playwright. So definitely go check that one out if you're at the beginning. And then this is the presentation I'm giving now. And then for the third in the series, follow me on LinkedIn. Just go ahead and give me a connect and you'll get notified when I have future presentations. But I'm going to keep on going on specifically how to test Drupal so that we have really, really great websites in the Drupal world, high quality websites. Okay, so a brief history of Cypress, and I mean really brief. It was created in 2015 by Brian Mann to address the limitations in the existing testing frameworks, particularly Selenium. It is developer friendly, for real. It includes live reloading, visual feedback during testing. It includes automatic waiting for elements to appear. You don't need to add wait commands, for instance. It's far easier to set up than Selenium, and in my opinion, an experience less flaky. And it runs on JavaScript. In other words, the actual testing language is JavaScript, one of the world's most popular languages. So it's pretty easy to find the JavaScript skill for people to write tests. And today it has a very vibrant community and there are many people trained in it. So there are definitely people you can find if you're starting a Cypress project. And this is the last 5 years. You can see that it's been growing steadily. Pretty recent. I think I took that snapshot maybe 2 weeks ago or so. Okay, brief history of Playwright. So Playwright was developed and released by Microsoft in January 2020, and it was forked from Puppeteer, which is the Google project. But unlike Puppeteer, it's actually designed to work with multiple browsers. It has all the benefits of Cypress, plus it's much faster. It has very tight integration with Visual Studio Code, which makes the test debug loop a pleasure to work with. It was pretty good with Cypress. It was, in my opinion, not very good with Selenium. It was really good with Cypress, and it's even better with Playwright, in my opinion. And it has none of the limitations that Cypress has. In other words, it can work with multiple tabs. It can control multiple browsers. It has native iframe support, and so on. So to be clear, there are workarounds in Cypress for the current limitations, but Playwright just doesn't have them. It just doesn't, and you'll see why Cypress has some of these limitations, and some of them are simply temporary limitations, and some of them are going to be permanent, just because of some of the design decisions they made with Cypress. Okay, and so here's the last 5 years download history for Playwright. Something happened at the end of 2023. Okay, so why was Cypress embraced? Well, many people, and I mean many people, had experienced the frustration of the testing tools of the time, like Selenium. And it revolutionized front-end development and testing because it radically improved the developer experience. They also open sourced the test runner, and that made it very, very popular. But something is shifting. Like I said, take a look at now Playwright is in orange. Take a look at what happened with Playwright at the end of 2023. And I think what I'm going to explain in this presentation is why Playwright is getting so much attention. And in part, it's from teams that are already using Cypress. So I think some of those teams are switching, and I'll talk about one of them actually in this talk. So let's go through some important differences. Like I said, this is not comprehensive. You can look at, I'm going to show you lots of resources later for you to really get into this topic, but I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why I think people are moving away from Cypress, or that Playwright is getting so popular. Okay, so first of all, you can do parallel testing with Cypress, and it is offered by the company that is behind Cypress, which is a private company. They offer a dashboard, and that allows you to do parallel testing for a fee. For a little while, there was an open source project, with those names, currents.dev, sorry, Cypress, and so on. And Cypress recently, like at the end of last year, just blocked those tools from working with Cypress, because if you read these blog posts here, you're going to see that I completely get where the Cypress private company is coming from. They put in all the work making the test runner work, but these guys were piggybacking on them and not paying anything and siphoning away business that Cypress needs in order to survive. So if you're interested, read those 2 blog posts to see what's going on there. But the result is that you can't easily do parallel testing with Cypress without purchasing a dashboard license from Cypress. You can do it. There are some plugins. I'm not going to get into those, but it's not nearly as smooth as if you just pay the license fee. And by the way, I've used the dashboard. It's quite slick. So if you are in a team and you've got a little bit of money, it's not a lot. I think it's maybe a couple thousand a year. Their dashboard is pretty sweet. And then you get parallel testing at the same time. Okay, that's the plugin if you want to do it on your own. Okay, so one of the issues with Cypress is that it introduces Cypress-isms. Now, I don't know if anyone else has used this term, but I invented it because we have an equivalent in the Drupal world. We have Drupalisms, and we have been trying to get rid of Drupalisms for years now. These are the things, the design decisions inside of Drupal that make it difficult for people to learn Drupal, or even experienced people to remember things, and you've got, crazy array trees and whatnot. So another way you could express this is, I don't know who invented this term. It's called stupid knowledge. And this is the knowledge you need to get something done that you wish you didn't need to know it, but if you don't know it, you're not going to get it done, and it doesn't actually move the ball forward a whole lot. So Cypress has a fair amount of stupid knowledge that when you're learning it, you're going to have to learn just to do basic things. And I'm going to actually give you some examples here. And this stupid knowledge that you have to learn slows down learning and using the framework. So 2 examples are using variables and the try-catch construct. So let's take a look at those. So number 1, they made a key design decision in Cypress. They queue commands for later execution. So what does that mean? Well, it means that because it queues commands, variables aren't available when you expect them to be when you're going through a debug process. You have to store the variable using a Cypress construct, which I'll give you an example of, and then you can retrieve it later. And although this design decision allows for automatic waiting to be incorporated into the framework, because now they're in complete control over the running of the test, because they've you're enqueuing the commands and then it runs them. Somehow Playwright managed to do it without enqueuing commands. So it's not technically necessary. Their implementation of avoiding having to write the wait commands, like in other words, to incorporate automatic waiting, they chose to queue commands, and now simple variable assignment no longer works. So let me give you an example of what that means. So here's a very simple script test. Okay, so line number 1, change the current port. Line number 2, you go get the value of the div with an ID of message. And now you are working with that value. It's called message. You can assign it to the wags variable in line number 3. And then in line number 4, you have to wrap the wags variable and give it a name so that down in line number 6, you can go grab that variable and then test it. Well, that's pretty non-intuitive. I can't think of many other programming languages that force you to work with variables this way. But this is one of the ramifications of Cypress. Is this a super big deal? Am I, Andre, are you making a big deal out of nothing? It's not a big deal, except that sometimes you get into some pretty complicated situations, and now you're spending a lot of time managing variables, and you wonder if you're actually in 2024 or you've gone down to 1970 programming or something like that. And it's just one more thing to learn. So there you go. Line 4, you save the variable there, and line 6, you grab it here. And then line 7, you can test it. Here's the exact same code, but in Playwright. Line number 2, you simply assign a variable as you normally would. And then line number 3, you use the variable. Easy peasy. Okay, well, what about the try and don't catch? Well, another typical construct that doesn't work is the try-catch structure. So I asked Gemini why Cypress, I like asking these chatbots why they think of things. And it says that the Cypress, okay, of course it's been trained on the Cypress documentation, okay? So Gemini said that the Cypress philosophy is deterministic testing and reproducible failures and focus on application state. And that means that you shouldn't be using the try-catch structure. Okay, I get it. But you know what? Sometimes you still need a try-catch structure. And only at the end does it admit that it doesn't actually work because of the enqueuing of commands that Cypress performs. Okay, so key design decision number 2, Cypress chains commands. And that actually can make for some pretty elegant looking code if you think about it. Like take a look at the first example, sci.get. And then the second line there with the should, that's a change command. In other words, it's using the value of the first term and it's flowing through to the second term. And then in the second example, same sort of deal. And so the data flows from left to right. Get the cart button, go do a click on it. That returns a value that goes to the should assertion and so on. Okay, so if at the very beginning, you might do something like this. You might set up a whole bunch of chaining and you end up you have to use this sci structure called the then statement. And this little example of pulling in some values uses 3 then structures just because of the chaining. Now, it is possible to rewrite that, okay? That's actually a bad example, but when you're a beginner, you might easily make that sort of code and you get into this situation where you've got those weird then structures. But there are other situations where it's not actually easy to avoid. And you've got something that's been called the Cypress Pyramid of Doom. So here's a little an example. You've got some HTML code there. You've got an input, 2 inputs up above, and then you've got a result. Okay, and so here is Cypress. And if you take a look, I'll let you grok that for a second. On line 6, you've grabbed the value of the first field, and then you use a then statement. Okay, so now you can keep on going. You've got that value. Now you've grabbed the value of the second one on line 10. Okay, now you can keep on going. And then you can compare it to the result, which is the third value. It turns out that that's actually not easy to get rid of, that pyramid of doom. And it can get actually much hairier than that, depending on your test. So if you have gotten into pyramids of doom, there is an entire blog post by Gleb Bamutov, who is a former employee of Cypress and a community ambassador, and he's got tons of examples. Go check out his blog, and he'll teach you how to avoid that the best you can. But it's a long blog entry just to get around that. So there's an example. You get these pyramids of dooms because of the chaining structure of Cypress. So if you take a look at his blog entry and you look in the comment section, you're going to find the very first comment is this one. Nigel writes, "This is one of the reasons my team is exploring either Playwright or going back to Selenium. Both of those tools are quite a bit less fussy to work with and don't get in the way of writing tests." And you're going to see that kind of comment all over the place. You're going to see it in Stack Overflow comments where people write things like, what Cypress does, the torture that Cypress does to JavaScript should be a crime, something like that. So at first, the chaining looks real elegant and you do get really easy to write code. But when you start to get into these edge cases, it gets to be quite aggravating. And just not present in Playwright because it doesn't use that mechanism. Okay, so let's take a look at performance. Playwright runs much faster on single threads and includes parallelization out of the box. So here's an example of a team from Lingvano, and the link is at the bottom there. The reference is at the bottom. And this is very recent. This team member, she wrote the blog entry, I believe, at the end of 2023, and the title is How We Reduce Testing Time by 70% by Moving from Cypress to Playwright. So if you're working with Cypress, I'm not saying you must move to Playwright. If it's working for you, keep on going. You obviously have people trained on it. But if you're contemplating moving it, she has some really great reasons why they moved on it and some of the moved away from it and some of the benefits of that they're getting from it. But you can see it's much faster. Playwright over Cypress. Okay, and we already talked about you can obtain parallelization with Cypress by signing up for their cloud service. So another key design decision is that Cypress runs in the browser. And there are some advantages to Cypress running in the browser. And by running in the browser, the alternative, by the way, is where Playwright and Selenium with WebDriver, what they do is they control the browser as opposed to the actual test running in the browser. That's what was kind of a revelation because it brought a whole bunch of benefits. And some of the advantages are that you have full access to your app, like literally full access to your app. No need for object serialization. So some tests become a lot easier. You just inspect the object and it's right there. And it's impossible for Cypress to miss elements. But there are some disadvantages. Since code is evaluated in the browser, it's harder to communicate with the back end, things like databases. You are unable to connect or import server-side libraries or modules directly. And these are node modules, by the way. And you can't control multiple browsers, and you currently can't control multiple tabs either. Again, there are workarounds, but that is a current disadvantage with Cypress. And it's significantly slower than Playwright. So here are some great Cypress resources. If you are looking into getting into Cypress, you are very quickly going to learn about Gleb's fantastic work. If you go to cypress.tips, you'll find that it has over 300 blog posts, 500 videos, presentations. He has a Cypress skills checklist, like, do you really know Cypress? And a whole bunch more, courses and whatnot. Okay, but another thing that you might want to consider is the kind of integration that Microsoft was able to do with Visual Studio Code with their product, Playwright. The test debug loop in Playwright is fast and it's a joy to use. So let's watch a demo. Okay, so before I started off, you've got some code on the left. you've got Visual Studio Code. I'll just let you grok that for a second. On the left, you can see I am actually looking at the Test Explorer, excuse me, which is the little beaker on the left with the one beside it. And then you've got an actual Cypress test right beside it. Sorry, Playwright test right beside it. So let's get it started. There's the regular file explorer. So you can see these are the tests that are part of Automated Testing Kit that you get for free. And you can also steal the techniques that I use in there when you make your tests. And by the way, if you want to contribute tests back to the Automated Testing Kit, please do. Looking for more tests. And I've got a whole bunch of issues with some tests that I'm looking for specifically. But definitely, if you've got some, hang on. I wanted to show something. I'm going to back up. But if you've got some tests that you think I'd like that should be added to the kit, please share them. Okay, we're going to back up again. And this time I'm not going to talk over that part because I wanted to say something. Okay, back to the Test Explorer. And what I'm showing you there is you've got, that is a play. You can run the test right from within Visual Studio Code. That's debug, the middle one. And the one on the very end says bring up the code for the test. So I go click on that one right there for the media test. Okay, I've pulled up the media test by clicking on that document link. Scroll down. I'm going to go add a breakpoint. And now I go run in debug mode. Boom. It fires up Chromium. I'm going to move that to the other side of the screen. And then I'm going to go through. Now notice that the variables are changing on the left-hand side because unlike Cypress, variables work in real time because this is not being queued for later execution. It's running it right then. So there's a function, the login via form, that you get as part of the kit. It's about to run that. And that's how fast it was. To see how quickly it logged in. Keep on going. Going to upload an image. Add some alternative text with the hash code in there so I can find it later. Okay, I have an image locator that I'm looking for the unique token that I just added as part of the alt tag. And it's failing. Which is why you want to debug things. And so the reason why it's failing is you can see that the media ID is null. Oh, why is that null? Why did it not find my unique code? Well, it's because I have not actually turned on Automated Testing Kit. So we go into the modules page, turn it back on. That now allows a hook to add a media ID to the image, the media object, so that I can then find it. And you get that hook as part of Automated Testing Kit. So I'm going to run the test again. This time I'm just going to play through it. Boom. Go back to the Test Explorer and you can see I have a green. That is so delightful to work with compared to Cypress and Selenium. So I love it. Lots of people love it. And okay, let's keep on going. So the Cypress summary is that it's a mature framework. It has a code example for every situation, and the code is often elegant. However, core design decisions running in the browser, queued commands, a few others, are a strength in certain situations, but hinder its development in others. It will never be as fast as Playwright. Several Cypressisms exist that slow learning and development. and you must purchase a cloud account for parallelization. And some issues take a long time for the team to handle, or the issues are closed without being addressed. I really want to root for the underdog because the competitor here is Microsoft, but they're not responding to issues quickly. I have an outstanding issue that still hasn't been handled over a year. I've contacted them multiple times. They've said, yeah, we'll get on it, and it's still a year old. And it's a bug in one of the Cypress tests inside of automated testing kit. So, they're up against a formidable foe with the kind of money that Microsoft has. Microsoft has very clearly fully funded the Playwright team. So Playwright summary, it's younger, but with Microsoft behind it, it is catching up quickly. I'm going to actually say it's caught up. It has excellent performance. Parallelization is built in. It has a really great trace record feature that you can use to find out why something went wrong when it has been implemented as part of a CI. The Cypress really should do the same thing. Otherwise, it's actually longer to debug issues inside of Cypress without such a great feature. And it has more typical programming constructs. If the issues are addressed by the development team faster, I can't say it was overnight, but I did have an issue that the team got back to me within a week and they helped me solve it. So now, on the other hand, there is no dashboard yet for managing a team's results. And believe it or not, that is actually a really valuable thing. So if you want a dashboard because you have a whole bunch of people writing tests, Cypress has one and Playwright does not yet. I don't know if they're going to have one, but it doesn't exist right now. Oops. I don't know what I did there. I think I have two identical slides. So here's my recommendation. Again, I started off real Cypress fan. It's still a great tool, don't get me wrong. All those tests are running, no need to throw them out. However, if you're starting a new project and there are no Cypress or Playwright skills on the team yet, and you don't need the dashboard, I would recommend going with Playwright. If you are writing tests for an existing Cypress project and already have Cypress skills on the team, obviously continue with Cypress. If you are switching from Cypress to Playwright, do remember to perform a proof of concept with your most challenging tests, particularly around mocking and component testing. I don't want anyone to switch without you doing your due diligence to make sure that your most difficult tests, or the ones you anticipate you're going to need to write, that Playwright can do it. Because I can't guarantee that for every project out there. I don't know what your needs are. Okay, so more resources. This is the comparison I was telling you about. I will post the slide deck, hopefully tonight, on the Stanford website. So you may not have to type that in. And then you might want to watch Gleb's great video comparing Cypress and Playwright to get another view of the two tools. Okay, and then this is the blog post I was telling you about by the team that switched from Cypress to Playwright. And then the team member, I don't remember her name, Lisa, there it is. She gave an interview in January where she describes a little bit more detail about their experience. Okay, and so a little bit about what they did. They had 200 tests. They saw faster test writing. They saw better cross-browser support. They use standard JavaScript. The way she expressed it is Cypress seems less like JavaScript and more like a unique framework specifically designed for its own domain. AKA, they really tortured JavaScript to make it work. And it took them about 2 weeks to convert using Copilot. They put the scripts into Copilot and it rewrote them in Playwright. And Playwright also offers a migration tool that she has a link to there, by the way. And by the way, there's nothing stopping you from running both tools simultaneously. You can run hybrid for a little while or forever. Okay, so now I have a page of tons of learning resources at Performant Labs at that link right at the bottom, Automated Testing Kit, learning resources. And I've collected It's a lot of the comparisons that I could find out there. So if you want to dive into this even deeper, you've got lots of content there. And then there's some Drupal specific videos, either for Cypress on Drupal or Playwright on Drupal. And then general Cypress, general Playwright, Selenium comparisons, and then some great theory around test design that you might want to read as well. Okay, so reach out to me on Slack if you have any questions, or if you have a suggestion for what I should cover next. Do check out Automated Testing Kit at that URL on Drupal.org. And yeah, happy test writing. So now it's time for Q&A. Okay, over to you, Drake.
Think we have any questions? I guess I know I was looking at the automated test. I'm gonna definitely have to play now. Now you brought me over to go try out Playwright, so now I know what I'm gonna do next week. And yeah, I like all the resources you gave. I think that's gonna be really nice going back on the slides and being able to see that. What else would you say for kind of a beginner in the testing area, gonna use Playwright? What would be some of your advice for me?
Well, what I would definitely do is go take a look at the documentation for Automated Testing Kit, because I wrote that documentation to get someone from zero to running the kit, and it will walk you through a lot of what you're eventually going to learn or need to learn. And then if there's any unclarity in the documentation, hit me up on Slack and I'll explain it, and then I'll go fix the documentation. But I've had quite a few beta testers now, so I think it's doing pretty well. If you just follow the documentation to launch a fresh Drupal 10, just so that you can test Automated Testing Kit, you will learn a lot. That documentation will walk you through how to get Playwright or Cypress running on Drupal, on an empty Drupal site.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, and I joined the Slack channel too, so I'll let you know if I have any.
Oh, that's right. I do have a Slack channel. I forgot about that. Yeah, so you don't actually have to direct email. Yeah, if it's something that everyone's going to get benefit of, please keep it on the forum rather than DMing me. Yes, good point. Thank you.
Is there any other questions from anyone?
Well, I can't click on the chat right now because I think I'm sharing, but maybe you can read it.
Yeah, they're just saying, Alex says, Andre, this was very educational. Thank you very much. And Sean said, thank you, Andre.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
And then I know that we saw some people come in and then they came in a little late and I think left a little early too. So probably towards the end. Oh, here's sorry, David says, sorry if some of my questions are naive. Also, I've been in Drupal land for about a year now. I am from a Rails shop before where E2E testing was very nice, I thought. Do you feel Playwright parallelism is lost a little due to Drupal? I've ran into issues with slow tests under multiple requests and even database locks at times due to two tests trying to do something. Not that Cypress wouldn't have the same issue. Might be fixed in my next question though.
Yeah, preventing deadlocks with several tests running on the same database, that's a universal issue. That's part of your test design. And well, any parallelization mechanism, you may need to do just a little bit of work to make sure it has each of the shards or each of the threads, whichever terminology you want to use, that each one of them have their own database. If you do that, the locking issues go away. Now, I get that that's not necessarily what you might want to do. Like, let's say, for instance, you have a smoke test, and the smoke test is going to be, typically you're going to run your smoke test on the release version before you push it to production. And so you could get a deadlock there if you've got two tests that are doing similar things. And then you may run your smoke test on production. That's very common. Obviously, you want to know within 15 minutes of pushing your new release to production, you want to know if there are any problems. And that's exactly what you have a smoke test for. In that particular case, you just have to make sure that you aren't stepping on each other's toes when you're running your tests on production. That's just test design. You can, there are all kinds of things you can do, semaphores that make sure that you don't do that sort of stuff. And you have to be particularly careful running against production anyway. So you're going to know those tests like the back of your hand, because you got to make sure that when you're running on production, you're cleaning up after yourself and you're doing all sorts of things like that. So yeah, that is unfortunately a universal thing that you have to watch for. I haven't seen it being particularly bad with Drupal. Like that's the direct answer to your question.
Yeah, and then his next one goes in some niceties I haven't found in using Playwright with Drupal are some housekeeping things, like the idea of specifying like SQLite for only tests, so that you can clean up easily after a test is complete. I just now found your automated testing kit module, but are things like that built into it?
Are they built into it? Into Playwright? No, okay, to be honest, I haven't actually tried SQLite with Playwright. I've always just been using a regular Drupal installation, which I use on either MariaDB or MySQL. So I don't think it's built in. I'm trying to rack my brain about the documentation, but setting up SQLite is something, it's easy. So you would just do that as part of your test setup. Instead of you doing what I'm doing, which is MariaDB, you just use SQLite instead. I don't think it's built in though. It's something you set up.
Yeah. And then Sean, with that, you said, I assume there are plenty of GitHub integrations with Playwright, given it's Microsoft. We are mostly a GitHub house and are using Actions for most of our CI. Do you have, was asking, do we have a feel if GitHub Copilot has enough data to write useful Playwright tests?
Yeah, so that Lisa from the Lingvano team, she tried first, maybe I think she tried ChatGPT first, and then she switched over to Copilot, and she said Copilot was reliable with helping them write their tests and converting them. So I think Copilot knows about Playwright really, really well. And then going back to the GitHub thing, yes, you can absolutely run the Playwright tests inside of a runner in GitHub. Lots of teams do that. I found it was, last time I tried that, I actually found it a little bit flaky, but I've talked to other teams and they didn't find it. In any case, there's still room for a real test grid where you're using Sauce Labs or Lambda Test or Testery or something like that, and sending your tests to a grid that's designed to run them. GitHub Actions, you can do it, but if it runs out of steam, you should probably not spend too much time and just go look for a real test grid.
And I think David had another question here. Also, have you had any issues with Drupal button clicks to do Ajax updates to the DOM where Playwright isn't seeing that it's updated? I seem to run into that a lot. Sorry that these are not totally related to Cypress versus Playwright, but still.
I haven't said, I can't say I've run into it a lot. I have had to definitely take some actions so that I'm making sure that I've got access to that element. So yeah, I have actually hit that too, and it's not uncommon. And that's maybe part of the issue, like what I said in the presentation with Cypress, it's impossible to miss an element because the code is running in the browser. It is still possible with Playwright that you have these edge cases that you have to spend a little bit of extra time. That's true.
He said, okay, okay, great, good to know. It's not just me.
It's not just you.
Also,
yeah. But once you've solved it once, it's kind of that would be a playwrightism. as opposed to a Cypressism. So every framework, like anyone who's been in technology for longer than 5 years figures out that every framework has its little quirks. So I'm not going to promise that it's all mana and from heaven with Playwright, but it is, I think, quite a step forward.
I think there was just another comment David made. I love that you can record Playwright tests. That's pretty useful as well, to get easy starts to existing functionality. So I think that's.
Yeah, I don't like how they pick the I don't like how they write the selectors with these automated tools. So you end up rewriting them anyway. But I do agree it's nice to get a little structure already for you. I just find it really productive. And I think Cypress, they had a tool for a little while that called Cypress Studio, I think. And then they took it away, and then I think they put it back. But I do believe Cypress has a recording tool again now. But yeah, the Playwright tool is great for it. I agree.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, the locators aren't the best, but good to have it down to start.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, do we have any other questions? I know we're probably at time. Great presentation, by the way. Really great information.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for that. Thanks for the kind words. Okay, so then what I'll do is I will print the slides into PDF form, and that should make the links live. And then that'll get you the ones from the presentation, but you can go right away to the learning resources section of the automated testing kit documentation. And actually, nice. I can do that right now. Let's just go here. And these are all live right now. So if you tonight want to go crazy learning the distinction between Cypress and Playwright, you can.
Oh, awesome.
But then actually here's I'll just quickly go through the introduction here. It's the kit works on either native OS or inside of a container or within a container. And it's got both instructions for Cypress and for Playwright. You can target a remote Drupal server with the kit. That means that you can target your local development box, or you can target stage, or you can target test, or you can target production just by changing the configuration. Full installation. Here are some of the modules that you're going to get introduced to that you don't have to use. Only enable the module if you're going to use a test that needs it. It's things like the Symphony mailer, the contact us in the web form, sitemap, QA accounts. This is a really handy module that I think a lot of teams would really love to know existed. I was thrilled when I found out that existed. And so on. And then here are the functions. And then this is for Cypress, but then you'll find exactly the same names with just a different signature in the parameters. For Playwrights, you can switch between them pretty quickly because I don't change the API. And then here are the tests that are available now, along with some tags. So if it's a smoke test, if it changes the database, it's going to have this one. Then there are categories for them. And then here are the actual tests themselves.
Yeah, that's great documentation. David here was saying, oh, noticed 1.2 didn't have the form class anymore, but it's still in the docs to go to the admin configuration. It was in 1.0, but not in 1.1 or 1.2. I assume it's okay not to worry about the config sync. It's going away. Since it's going away.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lost at what he's referring to. He should bring that onto the Slack channel and then we can discuss it there. That's probably a better idea.
Yeah. Yep. He said he will do.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thanks for doing that, Alex.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for being the moderator, and we'll see you in tomorrow's sessions, everyone.
Yep. Okay.